So what I want to do is cut out a portion of this bridge, the center part here. Okay, I don't know what that weird selection is there. Anyway, yeah, cut out a portion here that we will actually simulate on. The rest of it will just be static. Okay, and that's just to be kind of more effective, more efficient. Is what I'm trying to say. So what I'm going to do is drop a box first of all. Okay, and let's template the bridge, visualize the box. Let's go much bigger with the box, so 20, something like that. I'm in wireframe mode right now, by the way. Bit wider, just kind of grabbing a bit more of the bridge there, just before the kind of towers there. Okay, and then I'm going to boolean this bridge. So when you've got a model that's quite complex, it's normally a good idea to run booleans through a for each loop. So before we do that as well, what I'm going to do, because I suspect there's going to be problems, because I want to use, if we go press 9 and then use the name attribute. Okay, and you can visualize that. So I want to use this attribute, the name, to separate different parts. So this cylinder here, that we're going to be simulating that separately. The roads down here, these cables, this seems to be useful to me for isolating separate parts for simulating, as I said. Okay, so when we run a boolean, we're going to be losing that attribute on the new faces that are generated. So I'll show you what I mean. If I select, well, first of all, before I do that, if I drop a connectivity sub, okay, I'm going to run this over primitives. You could probably do either. Okay, and then let's just turn that off. Set this to class, so that we're selecting by this class attribute that we've just made. I'm just going to grab a long piece there. Okay, and delete that, and then delete non-selected. So we've got one piece there. You can see it's got this class attribute. We can visualize it. If you don't have the visualizer, turn it on here. Okay, just click that. Make sure this is turned on and this is turned on here. So then when we run a boolean intersect with the box here, so this is my A geometry, this is my B geometry, connect that up, that will cut it there. Let's drop a null so we get rid of this visualizer thing there. So now when I go to this new piece at the end, you can kind of see, if I change the background to dark, maybe can see the colors quite different there, and if we go into the geometry spreadsheet on the primitives, you can see the class value, that we lose the class and the name attributes as well, which is more what I want. Okay, the material, it probably doesn't matter so much because we're not, any textures mapped to this geometry, they're not going to work on new primitives that I add anyway, so we'll leave that. So we need to find a way of, going through each thing that we cut and copying across those attributes, the name attributes, right? So I'm going to, first of all, group this and call it box. Okay, and then I'm going to split the results of this boolean by the box. Okay, so there we've got the new primitive on one side and the other one on the other side, and then we just need to attribute copy that name attribute across, because that's what I'm interested in. Okay, so not the color, but the where are you? Name. Okay, so now when I visualize the results merged, the rest of it, you can see now we've got the same name attribute over the whole thing. The class attribute doesn't matter really. you know, we can do that again. And then, yeah, the points here, since we've split this, we'll need to fuse it back together. Fuse there with, we'll drop the distance down again, just the same thing here, otherwise we'll get that same problem where, you know, we're losing some of the geometry that we don't want to lose. Okay, so now the the name attribute is the same everywhere, not the class, but that doesn't matter really. We don't need it after this. Okay, so that's good for one piece. Now to go over each piece, we need to run a for each loop. Okay, so oops, for each we need named primitive, I believe. Okay, let me just set this to manual, because once this gets going it's going to take quite a long time. So this in here, this in here, and then all of that comes out the bottom. Delete that. Okay, and then for at the bottom here, let's go to piece attribute will be class. Okay, let's go to the top and press auto update, and it should show us one piece. If I get rid of this blast now, you can see sometimes when you make changes up the top it doesn't update here. So if you just press reset cache path, there we go. So if we press spacebar and F now, it'll show us one of the pieces that it's iterating over. And obviously some pieces will not be Boolean, so nothing's happening to this, it's just passing through without any effect happening to it. What we can do, if we go to the bottom now I've selected it, it's going to run through each piece. We've got 50,000, so it will take a bit of time. So we'll just wait for that and then take a look at the results. There we go. So spacebar and F, and there we go. We got it nicely cut out. We're still visualizing the name attribute, are we? No, the class. If we go to name, there we go. So you can see there, so where this red tube has been cut, it's still red at the end there, which is perfect, exactly what we need. Okay, for when we're splitting this up a little later and we don't have weird kind of floating polygons at the end. Great. Now if I set this to smooth wire shaded, you'll see we've got this box. So that's probably because pieces which are coming through, which are smaller than this box, you know, the Boolean is going to fail there because there's no intersection between the two pieces. So easiest way to delete that, I thought, you know, you could just select them, but a bit more procedural. If we just drop a measure, we can't just delete this group, because that will delete all the new faces that we made as well. Okay, so let's drop this measure, and this will give us a value for each of the primitives. That's red because of this visualizer here. And then just drop a delete to delete anything with an area bigger than a certain size. So each primitive, you know, these primitives have an area much bigger than anything in our geometry. We know that for sure. So I'll show you the attribute there. If we go to geometry spreadsheet, primitives, you can see we've got this area attribute. And you can see here we've got, these are the boxes, right? I've lost them now. There we go. So these, which have like 600, and then the rest are all tiny values. Okay, so we can use that. What was that, about 600 or so? So if we say at area is more than 100 at least, and just delete them. There we go. So that gets rid of everything except for, oh sorry, it gets rid of the box and not our, you know, the geometry that we want to keep. Cool. Now that we've done this, and that took a bit of time, I'm going to save this. So file, cache. Okay, get rid of that. And I'm going to set this to save current frame. Save this into your geometry folder, that's fine. Let's call this sim area, just like that. Okay, That should be fine. I don't know why I keep getting these notifications there. Save that to disk, that's fine. Now, what we also need, obviously, is the other side. So, just a quick and dirty way of doing that. I'm just going to set this to manual. And I'm just going to copy this whole thing. Just had to restart Houdini there for some reason. It's acting a bit weird. I've started it in manual. Going to check load from disk here and then set that to auto update. Escape, I can see the visualizer is still on here. That's what I was trying to avoid. Visualize that, there we go. So all working fine. Yeah, so what I was trying to do earlier, I don't know why that's got an error. Okay, I'm going to set this back to manual. Try to do that copy and paste again. So just copying all of this. Alt click and drag over. There we go, now it's working. Okay, and then bring this over like that. We set this to wireframe again. Great. Basically, all I want to do is change this from intersect to subtract. Okay, and then that will give me the everything outside the box instead of inside the box. So come down here, press auto update. There we go. So once that's done, you can see we kind of get the opposite result. We still got that box there, so you know everything else is the same. We just want to save this obviously as a different, under a different name. So let's call this static area. Makes sense. Okay. Save that. There we go. Perfect.